Hey guys, did you know that I have a Patreon where you can support me and plus get awesome rewards? Or if you're thinking to yourself, but Julian, I want even more bang for my buck while still supporting you, you can pop over to my Redbubble and check out my awesome store with new designs appearing regularly. But for now, enjoy the video you're about to watch. Hey everyone, it's me, Julian Greystoke. Today I'm wearing my Scar shirt, and if you've been with me for any length of time, you know what that means. I'm going to be serious now. If you are a fan of Renegades and you cannot stand to see someone tear it into bite-sized pieces, now's the time to leave, because I'm going to do that, and there's nothing you can do about it. So save yourself the trauma and just go watch one of the plethora of videos talking about how great this book is. Renegades! What is it about? Well, it is about superheroes. I have a mixed relationship with superhero books. I can like them, but I don't necessarily seek them out. But I was still kind of hopeful for this one. The author of this book, whose name I have forgotten because I am full of fail, is one that I have been trying to get into. She wrote Marissa Meyer, is that it? She wrote the Lunar Chronicles, and I thought they were okay. I didn't keep up with them. It's a series that I didn't end up finishing, but I thought it was okay. So when I saw that she had a new book out and it was about superheroes, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give her a second chance. I am definitely one of those people who believes in trying multiple books from an author before I decide that I'm never going to read them. I would hate it if people read one of my books and decided never to try anything else because of one book that didn't agree with them. And well, as I'm certain you've guessed, I was highly unimpressed with this book. Wow, the only reason that I didn't DNF is because I wanted to do a review. This book reminded me extremely strongly of Young Elites by Mary Lou in just a lot of the choices that were made, as well as the writing style and the characters and all of it. But what's the plot? This is the story of a girl who is a superpowered person, and they live in a society where superheroes kind of wrecked the world, and then they brought it back around to good, so now superheroes are in charge, supervillains are in hiding, and she was raised by supervillains, so she is on like this little underground villain team, and she has to go infiltrate the Renegades, this big, shiny, awesome team of superheroes, and try to bring them down from the inside. Let me just say, holy cliches, Batman. This book is made out of 100% post-consumer product. There is nothing original in this book. And at first I was kind of like, okay, well, it's a superhero story. Superheroes have been done to death. There's not that much that you can do with certain things, especially like powers and what you call superheroes and all that stuff. It's all been done, so I was very forgiving of that. But everything else did not need to go down like this. Wow. First of all, dead parents for everybody! You get a dead parents, and you get a dead parents. If you look under your seat right now, you will find dead parents! Like, the main character doesn't only have dead parents, but then the person who raised her is probably also dead, and it's just like, wow, book. Wow, you went 110% on the dead parents card. Like I said, this book is loaded with cliches. It also has plot holes and tons of opportunities for you to suspend your disbelief, because you are going to need the tightest tightrope on which to suspend your disbelief for some of the things that happen in this book. The name of the big superhero team that's in charge right now is the Renegades, and that kept being very confusing to me. I feel like Renegades is a bad name for like the law keepers in their city. It's kind of explained with the backstory, but I don't think it fits very well. I kept hearing Renegades and thinking they were talking about the bad guys. In reality, what it sounds like to me is it sounds like an author desperately trying to have a name for a superhero team that already hasn't been chosen. It's like in a zombie book where you do everything you can not to actually call them zombies. You have to find some new name for your superhero team. Avengers? No. Super Friends? No. Renegades. The main character of this book is right on the edge of being too good at too many things. While her superpower isn't hugely impressive, and I do like that it's not like she's like the very best superhero that like no one ever was. She is really skilled at a bunch of other stuff, and again, you really have to suspend your disbelief, and this reminded me a little bit of a different book. It's the one I read recently about the girl who goes into a video game world, also by Mary Lou. I feel like this author, are they friends? Are Mary Lou and Marissa Meyer friends? Are they the same person? Where the main character is a teenager but also like really, really good at things that you kind of wonder how, when. We're just told that she learned them, and we're told that she's a master at them. She's super good with gadgets and everything, and I'm like, okay, but she's really good with this stuff, and it seems kind of tenuous to me. It seems sort of like the thing that people would normally spend a lifetime getting good with, not be masters at when they're teenagers, but whatever, teenage wish fulfillment, here we go. The male lead in this book is okay. I liked him. He is African American, which is cool. His abilities are interesting. He's able to draw anything and it comes to life, which is like, he's basically the Green Lantern, but he has to draw it first. The nice thing is that it's explained that he does not have to draw a perfect picture of a tank to get a tank. It's the intent that matters. So like, all he really needs is a piece of chalk and a big piece of concrete, and he could be riding around on a dragon. Which is what confuses me about his powers, because he's himself and others, mostly himself, are very disappointed in his powers, and I'm like, dude, a couple of quick strokes of the chalk and you could be kicking so much ass. Also, he has the same problem as our main character in that he is good at a lot of things as well. In this book, our main character joins with a small offshoot of the big main heroes, and her team goes around and does smaller things and solves smaller problems, or at least they're supposed to. But of course, they get involved with bigger things like a giant library fire and like other big disasters that they're dealing with. And one of the points that you really have to suspend disbelief for in this book is that it takes the proper big name superheroes forever to get to any of these scenes. They show up at the very end conveniently right when our heroes have finally solved it. And it feels super convenient, it feels super contrived. This book tries, it wants desperately to be a book about shades of gray and different moralities, and it fails pretty hard in my opinion. There are a few places where it kind of succeeded, but for the most part it still falls back on these people are good and these people are evil, and there are so many ways that I feel like it could have been a lot more gray that they just didn't go with. Our main character's main goal of vengeance is weak. I'm gonna throw a little spoiler for the beginning of the story in here. Our main character's parents were killed, and she blames the big name superheroes for it because they did not come and save her parents. That is a pretty tenuous reason to want to seek revenge. Like, kid, there are probably still so many people whose parents are killed in gang violence and such, and they are not saved by these superheroes either, but you're the only one with a revenge plot, so it would have been a lot stronger if it wasn't because of just negligence that her parents died, and that even that is arguable. It might not even be negligence, because like, how are these big heroes supposed to know, really? Like, I guess they're supposed to be protecting her parents, but I never really got that vibe. It felt a lot more like her parents were saying, don't worry, if danger happens, the heroes will save us, even though they know that they're just small time and the heroes aren't going to save them. Anyway, it would have been a lot more effective if her dad was like actually active in shady dealings, like he used to be in the mob but he got out of the mob. It would be a lot more effective if he was in the mob and he was found out and the big name superheroes actually came to arrest him, and somewhere in there, because her dad fights back, that's how the parents are killed, and that would give our main character a lot more reason to want to seek vengeance. There is a character in this story called Max who has these really, really intense powers, and I won't spoil them for you now, but at one point our main character runs into him and his powers harm her, and she was just able to just go right up to him, even though everybody knows about his powers and everybody's like, stay away from this kid, we're gonna, you know, they treat him well, but he basically lives in a bubble. And our main character just runs right in there and is harmed by his powers, and I do not understand for the life of me why nobody just told her, don't go in there because this will happen to you. It is so stupid and contrived, and definitely feels like it's just there for the plot so she can go in there and find out firsthand what this kid's powers are, and I hated it. So seemingly no one in this organization is ever trained. The superheroes in this world are basically the police. There are no police, there are no non-super people upholding the law. It's all superheroes. And there's this big competition at the beginning where people can get put into these various superhero teams, which of course our main character does, because she is the special. However, once she gets there, there is no training. Like, they take her to the training room, but it's not like a training room, it's just like a practice room, and I'm like, police in the real world go through training, and you're just gonna take this girl that you found, that you literally brought in off the street. Yeah, you did a background check on her and didn't find anything, but just because somebody isn't a murderer doesn't mean they would make a good police officer. You need to train them. They're just like, hey, welcome to the team, here's your first assignment, get out there on the streets. You have superpowers, that must mean you know how to use them adequately to protect civilian lives. Oh my gosh, I am gonna spoil this for you because this is just shitty. And I should have just spoiled everything because, you know, if you're watching this, you're here to see this book get ripped apart. But holy last minute, poorly executed plot point Batman, near the very end, one of the good guy superheroes just randomly spews this information about this cure that they're working on for superheroes, essentially the mutant cure from X-Men. He has no reason to bring it up, no reason to continue talking about it. It is literally the most contrived moment I can think of. If you are writing something, look at this book and be like, well, that is not how you bring up an important plot point right there. Learn from this, everyone. It was barely foreshadowed. It was foreshadowed the tiniest little bit, and then here's this guy who we don't even know, he's just another character who we've seen like twice, suddenly flapping his mouth off about this mutant cure so that we have a reason to want to read the second book. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna read the second book because this was the most inept story management that I have seen in a long time. So there you guys go. Those were my thoughts on Renegades. What did you think about it? Did you read it? Did you like it? Comment below and let me know. And as you probably have figured out by now, I post new videos Mondays and Fridays. All the links to my social media are in the doobly-doo for ease of your clicking. And if you liked what you saw here, but you want to see it be higher quality, you can always support me on Patreon. All of the donations that I get in Patreon go towards getting me better equipment, slowly saving up for that, so. And I will see all of you again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye! What's up, everybody? It is shout out time. Time to shout out to my very first patron, Kim. And if you want to be cool like Kim, become a patron over on Patreon.